It's a story about Kwame Nkrumah, his ideals and how, and Pan-Africanism, how he wanted the whole of Africa to be united. And now everybody's beginning to see that he was actually right. Is Nollywood really losing originality? They're not losing originality. I think it's just a bit of distraction. They're trying to ape foreign materials. There are so many stories you can tell from different angles. You don't compare yourself with another person. I think you should carve a niche for yourself, build a way for yourself. I really don't want to say much about that, because I don't think it's ideal, but there's nothing you can do about that. So whether I shout it's ideal or I don't shout it's ideal from now till tomorrow, it is what it is.
One of Ghana's leading industry players was talking about the fact that YouTube will phase out too. So most movie producers should not be putting their movies there.
YouTube is not phasing out anytime soon. It's not phasing anytime soon. YouTube has come to stay.
He's a veteran Nigerian actor, singer, producer, voiceover artist, and a man of many talents in the Nollywood industry. Rising to fame in the 1990s, he became best known for his commanding bad boy screen roles, earning him the nickname Black Arrow. Now, beyond acting, he has contributed to Nollywood's growth through mentoring, advocacy, and industry leadership. My guest is Segun Arinze. He joins us on Pulse 101. My name is Gideon Nicholas Day. Welcome, sir.
How are you, Gideon?
I'm very well. Yourself?
Good.
Okay. Give me one fun fact about yourself.
Fun fact about myself?
Yes.
I like doing practical jokes. I love humor a lot.
You like humor a lot?
I love humor a lot. That keeps me going.
What's one thing people will be surprised to know about you?
That I am not as hard as they see me in the movies.
But has that affected you in a way, like the way people see you in the movies?
Well, at the beginning, it was a bit worrisome for me, but along the line, I had to find a way to balance it and let them know, like, listen, it's just a job. If you cast for the role of devil and God, somebody has to play God, somebody has to play devil. But that doesn't mean that they are either. They're none of it. And so it's just a job that you get paid for, and you're trying to impact on society by telling them stories through film. So gradually started adjusting to it, but at some point it was a bit worrisome and scary for me, because everybody just lumped me into that side, bad boy and that side.
But did it affect you mentally in any way that maybe you are a bad boy?
Mentally, I nearly crazed. Yes, it did psychologically affect me to some extent, but I just put my mind to it, and I told myself I was going to get out of it. And so I rose above it.
And so what were some of the things that you put in place? Were you shooting more different roles?
Yeah, well, being an actor means that you can play anything. But granted, there are certain roles you might not be well suited for. So they've got to find a way. But the way filmmakers are within the West African sub-region, and even Africa, once they see that you can play this role, everybody goes in that direction.
Yeah.
But they want to give you the chance to prove yourself. Oh, bad boy, bad thief, terrible chief, wicked landlord, wizard.
Yeah.
Just give it to him. Good boy, lover boy, give it to Gideon. So they have a way of typecasting you, so you become a typecast, and that's not the way you're cornered into one cocoon. It doesn't just make any sense. As an actor, you should be able to explore, and so that's what I did with myself. I told myself I was going to be boxed into a corner. I was going to show that I'm an actor and I can be diverse. I can be versatile, and that's what I did. And thankfully, I'm out of it. Just that of recent they've started again.
Yeah.
Putting me in police roles. Police as either you're playing a bad DPO, a good DPO, or you're playing one funny police officer. So I just said, no, hold it there, just hold it there. Let me try the roles, which I have been doing.
What has been the most, should I say iconic, or the best role that you think you've played?
You're as good as your last role. You're as good as your last performance. So it's work in progress. But if you say some of my favorite,
okay,
I'll tell you favorite. I would say Silent Night, which of course Black Arrow, which I wasn't the lead in the movie anyway. It was Ramsey that was the lead, but I formed by some form of providence and I say divinity. Black Arrow took a different dimension, and The Return, where I played KG. It was another one, and then Battle of Love, which was also good, and then Vuga. So those are milestones. Those are milestones, but there have been others, so that's just Let me say just this few.
Just a few. You were also a voiceover artist. You sing as well. You come across as very versatile.
Yes, I do sing. I started my career as a singer. My first album was called Dreams. And thereafter, I had issues with my recording label because they didn't want to go in my direction and I didn't want to go in their direction. So we broke the contract. And then I moved on into acting. And after that, I broke into my first lead role, my first role that gave me prominence. And then I came back again to do something music again called In the Mood with another label called OJ's label. From time to time, when I do feel the urge, I can sing. But for now, I'm concentrating more on my career as an actor and as a voiceover talent. And incidentally, I'm the president of the Association of Voiceover Artists back in Nigeria. Ooh. So we're working on seeing to nurture new talents, mentor them, empower them. And so get them to understand that their voices, their tools, their power, they can make something out of it.
Is it easy or difficult to have like these versatile talents that are all media focused and be able to balance them to ensure that you get the best stream of income from them?
Yeah, it's good for you to find a balance. That's the word itself, finding the balance, striking a balance between all of them. You can't be everywhere at the same time. So you make out time for certain things and then you prioritize them. And this is what I want to do at this point, this is what I want to do at this time. So if you do work, plan very well, you see that it works. Because failing to plan is planning to fail. So you've got to itemize them and you've got to prioritize them and tell yourself, at this point in time, this is what I want to do, at this point in time, this is what I want to do. That helps. That helps a lot.
What do you think of social media now and the rise of young actors from social media, reality shows, when they become influencers, then they are cast into movies and whatnot? Is it a way...
I really don't want to say much about that. Okay. Much as I don't think it's ideal, but there's nothing you can do about that. So whether I shout it's ideal or I don't shout it's ideal from now till tomorrow, it is what it is. I do not have anything against it. Mine is that as performers, I think it's a good thing for you to come in, but get the rudiments. Go and get trained, be trained and have a focus about what you want to do. Let me tell you why. You can't just because you think you like being a doctor, you can carry stethoscope and knife and surgical knife and start operating on people and say you're a doctor. Because you like the soldiers, you go and carry a gun and start marching up, sew your own uniform. You're an engineer, you get laborers together and put cement and sand together with stones because you like that. You must be trained. Even the carpenter goes through what you call rudimentary training from the master, and then they graduate. Now, the unfortunate thing about the entertainment in our business is that talent is the first prerequisite. Yeah. So it's an all-comers affair. What I would say is go and get some form of training. You don't understand it. It's good, yes, you're a social media influencer, you're this, you're that, but go on, for crying out loud. Get the training. It doesn't take away the fact that when you get training and you come back, that you still not be pulling the numbers. You're still pulling on the numbers. Why most people go for influencers because they have the numbers.
Yeah, they're influencers.
And of course, they make a lot of streams of income and all that. That's why they use them. But an actor is an actor. You will always come back to the actor at the end of the day. Much as we do social media, you see all these things. What has happened has happened before. So it's cyclical. It just keeps going round and round and round and round. We'll still come back to go and look for the proper actors to come and act, come and give you what they want.
So and now most of our movies are now on YouTube, and I think recently one of Ghana's leading industry players were talking about the fact that YouTube will phase out too. So most movie producers should not be putting their movies there.
YouTube is not phasing out anytime soon. It's not phasing anytime soon. YouTube has come to stay. What's going to happen is that YouTube is going to evolve to other levels. People are making movies now and putting and you get your income based on the views and all that. It's still going to change. Somewhere along the line, they're still going to change this game. There's still to be a game changer. Yeah. But you see, what I would only suggest is that we should have diverse and multiple streaming platforms, so that in case YouTube decides to play fast on everybody, I'm not saying they're going off. you have something else to fall back, because there is no how they will not change the game along the line and tell you. One MD will come in on YouTube and say, oh, this, okay, let's do it this other way. And there's a flip.
Yeah.
So when that flip comes, it's not as if they're throwing you out, but just change the script, flip the script, and you now find yourself trying to adapt to that new script. So you also need to be prepared ahead. I like to see multiple streaming platforms, and that will work.
But do you think we can make the money off YouTube, like producing movies for YouTube, and maybe make them as much money as you spent on the production?
It will get to that, but you have to be intentional about it. You have to be intentional. I mean, Netflix came. At the point in time, they were doing the originals, and also they said this, no, they were not going to be doing originals again. So they're going to be acquiring the content. So if your content is not good, they won't take it. If it's good, they take it and pay you. Same thing with Prime Video. These things always have a way of recalibrating. Every now and then they keep changing things here. Would you ever believe that Canal Plus will buy DSTV? I'm sure you have heard of it.
Yeah.
So they're almost at the tail end of it now. So in the few, it's just a matter of a couple of months now, you'll be hearing the DSTV has become fully Canal Plus.
Yes.
So nobody ever saw that coming. So you should be prepared for things like that when they happen. And for us, we like talking about data this, data that, getting this, getting that. But the reality on ground is that you need to be prepared. You need to be proactive. It's not just enough for us to start saying, you have this data, you have this information, you do this, you did that. We like semantics a lot. We like to speak too much English. You understand? But the practicality, the things on ground is that when the script flips, what happens? So you must be ready for it.
Why do you feel Nollywood is losing its originality?
Is Nollywood really losing originality? They're not losing originality. I think it's just a bit of distraction.
Okay.
It's just a distraction in the terms that they are looking at going to go and do. They're trying to ape foreign materials,
Remakes
and all that. But you have stories here, so much stories here in Africa. So why don't you have your stories grounded here, do things that people relate with? And those are the kind of things that people want to watch. If you even see that, I think there's this Nollywood, Nollywood produced African thing about an African story where it went down ancient times and all that. Most of them are doing that, but though this is animated, it's in cartoon form. They want all those stories. And the honest lies on us to give them those stories and be very creative about how we tell those stories. Everybody is tired of gun-toting, love, romance. I mean, find something that's deep-rooted, deep-seated in Africa.
But I don't know what the investors or the foreigners want to invest in telling their stories, maybe using the African way. I mean,
there are people who want to do that, but you also have to be ready. In terms of what are you bringing to the table for an investor? How do you want to tell the story? You just want to tell it in the white man's way? No. You can tell it the African way. For instance, has anybody thought about doing stories about Kwame Nkrumah, about all the great Ghanaian leaders, or the South African leaders, or Burkina Faso, or Nigeria? Every country in Africa has their heroes and people who have helped them. Their forebears who helped them attain independence or did one thing or the other. Same thing with America. So have we thought about those old authentic African stories? Before Christianity came to Africa, how were we worshiping? Before civilization came to Africa, how were we having our bath and cooking?
Yeah.
How were we doing all those things? Was there social media at that time? But somehow, somewhere they navigated and did that. So we need to, be very authentic about the kind of stories that we tell. I'm not saying we should go and be carrying spears, that all our stories are spears and cutlasses. No, I'm saying that deep-seated African stories that can resonate with people. We've stopped teaching history in some schools these days. So a lot of our children don't even know anything. The Gen Zs don't know a lot of things about that. They're talking about Gen Zs about you now. so they don't know a lot of things. If I ask you a certain question now, you're not even able to answer me because you don't know. But when you're informed, there's history and you understand that, you say, oh, I was told this and I understand this. America thrives on history. They tell their children the history of how America came about. Same thing with the United Kingdom. Same thing with the Netherlands. Same thing with France. If you've heard of the French Revolution, you've heard about Napoleon Bonaparte.
Yeah.
So a lot of things. You've heard about Hitler. You understand? So when you tell stories about the heroes of your country, of your nation, from where you come from, it helps to project you to the future. So I think that's where we should start from. And so you're nodding your head. I'm sure you go back and go and check.
Definitely. But in terms of Ghana's movie industry as well, there's been a lot of conversations, and a lot of people keep comparing Ghana's industry to Nollywood, that we are not doing so well. I don't know if you've had a conversation.
I've had the conversations, and I think it's not a decent conversation. You don't compare yourself with another person. I think you should carve a niche for yourself, build a way for yourself. You don't go looking, oh, this is how it's done. Yeah, no. You have to be unique. And that's what creativity is all about. You must be creative. You must think out of the box. Don't go comparing yourself, oh, his father's house is big. What if you put your mind to it and work very hard? You can build your own house to be bigger than that person's father's house. You know? And on that thing, don't create that competition. There's no competition. The sky is big enough for birds to fly, so do not create that competition. Let everybody work. And one thing that's going to help both sides is collaboration.
Okay.
Join me in telling my story. I'll join you in telling your story. Let's collaborate. And you see, if you want to go far, you can go alone. But you want to go farther, you go with people. So why don't we just collaborate and say, let's come together, do this together, do this. We were doing that before in the past. Now, when we started Nollywood and Gollywood.
Yeah.
And by the way, I hate that name Gollywood. It sounds like somebody being gullible. So I don't. I would rather hear Ghana Wood.
We went to Gollywood to.
No. We are trying to be creative. No, I think it should be Ghana Wood. Just leave that Golly. It's not, for me, it doesn't resonate with me. But anyway, that being said, even the Nollywood, I would have preferred to hear Niger Wood than any other thing. But the truth be told is that when we collaborate, when we do things, it will work. Once you collaborate. You also find a way of pulling in investors to come and join you in terms of infrastructure. And then, of course, government creating the enabling environment for you to thrive.
Yeah.
That's the most important thing. The kind of policies that they bring out that's going to help, rather than stifling the industry and not encouraging, they should leave it open. Most of this equipment are not produced, they are not made, they're not manufactured here. So you've got to give a lot of tax waivers for saying, okay, bring these things in and let's do. So collaboration is just the best way to go about this.
How has it been working with Ghanaian filmmakers, and for you personally?
I think they're doing well. But you also need to go back to the drawing board. That's the most. Same thing with Nigeria. You also need to go back to the drawing board and think out of the box, like I said earlier.
Mm-hmm. If you have the opportunity to reshape Africa's movie industry, is there any, let's say, one policy that you put that will affect the whole Africa?
What kind of policy would I want to put is to make sure that there's a fertile ground for your investments to thrive. Make sure that people come and invest. Make sure that you encourage the local market. Make sure that you open up your frontiers for people to come and tell those stories that you want to tell. Encourage them. Give tax waivers, like I said. So many things to do. Just encourage. Like when Goodluck Jonathan came in as president of Nigeria, the first thing he did, he said, listen, if I tell my story, people might not understand it. But if I use the movie industry to tell the story, I'll go farther. People understand where I'm coming from. So I think that's one of the best ways of it. Government should have vested interest in the industry, not kill everybody with the taxes. It's the taxes that really scares a lot of people. Open up the doors and let people bring in those equipment. But also regulate the kind of things that are brought in. Regulate the kind of stories that go out.
Okay.
I'm not saying tie the industry with a rope, but guide them. Just guide them.
But do you even have the stories available? I mean, most of these stories some of them are oral tradition, and we keep forgetting some of these stories to even go back and tell them. It might be even difficult to get some of the stories. So,
do you know the tortoise? What do you call tortoise in your language?
I'm trying to remember.
Okay, see, tortoise is a common character in most African folklores. We tell the story of the tortoise in so many ways. Okay, now telling that story, you can make the tortoise do so many things that people will learn from. So you don't just regiment yourself.
Okay.
There are so many stories you can tell from different angles. You can, the story of Cinderella has been told in so many ways. The story of Aladdin has been told in so many ways. The story of Ali Baba and the 40 Thieves has been told in so many ways. Disney keeps on coming up with different ways of doing the stories, and it's entertaining. It keeps you going. You keep on enjoying each time they bring the story. That you understand. So why can't we do that? We don't have to necessarily go to. You come to me as a Juju and I throw this and say, oh, I saw your father. He's in there talking to you. He's dead. You don't have to see all that. You don't necessarily have to do that. Do you know that if Africans had done Matrix, you remember the movie Matrix?
Yeah.
If Africans have done Matrix, I'm sure we'd have been saying. But they decided not to do that. They decided to do the Matrix of this. So you watch it and following the trajectory. But it was an African man. So you understand that?
Yeah.
But they told you the story of Matrix. There's no difference with divination and what they did. There's no difference. But they made it entertaining for you. And you enjoyed it. And they came to give you Matrix 1 and Matrix 2. So you see? So why can't we do that? That's the results of telling stories. How good are you as a storyteller? That's the most important thing.
How good are you as a storyteller?
Yeah.
Okay. Anyway, you're in Ghana again. How many times have you been in Ghana though?
I can't begin to count through. But last time I came was before AMA last year. I came in for a day.
Oh, okay.
Because we came to honor Pisanya Musigwe with the Ghana actors.
But tell us about the play. Do you want to give us a brief?
It's a story about Kwame Nkrumah, his ideals and Pan-Africanism, how he wanted the whole of Africa to be united. And now everybody's beginning to see that he was actually right, that Africa can come together because there are a lot of values that Africans share, with a lot of mineral resources, a lot of economic variation, a lot of economic things that Africans together, if they're cooperated together, should be like that. We should have in the United States of Africa.
Okay.
Just the way the United States of America is. So, each country in America can be a country.
Oh, yeah.
Each state.
I think recently my friends and I were talking about it.
Each state can be a country, but they come together. Same thing with the United Kingdom. You have England, you have Scotland, you have Ireland, they have Wales, and they're called United Kingdom. So why can't Africa come together and become United States of Africa? But they will fight who will be president.
Unless they resurrect Nkrumah.
That would be a bad idea. So second chance at life.
This musical, are you singing? It's a musical.
Well, when you come, you know whether I'm singing or not.
All right. Definitely. Thank you so much for joining us.
Welcome.
My name is Gideon Nicholas Day. My guest has been Segun Arinze. We'll see you some other time.